Hi there, I'm Mark Phillips, and as promised in this video, I'm going to share with you my 5 big takeaways, 5 big ideas that you can put into practice right now today to have more success in your business. These are coming from the World of Creativity series that myself and Mark Stinson recently wrapped up. That is the series inside of Enhancing the Human Experience where we interviewed business people, entrepreneurs, advertising people, marketing, branding people from all over the world in Mark Stinson's network of people. And we learned so much about the power of creativity to solve the problems in your business and also in your life. Like I said, in this video, we're going to be focusing more on how those people and those ideas that they shared can solve your business problems. And at the end of this video, my objective is to have you come away with one, an optimistic outlook on your ability to solve your problems in your business, whatever they may be. And 2, some actionable steps. And like I said, I'm going to share 5 ways that you can be a better creator. I want you to have actionable steps so that you can put into practice the knowledge that these folks shared with us in, I think it was 10 to 12 interviews, 10 to 12 episodes. Incidentally, you can listen to all of these episodes on Enhancing the Human Experience podcast. They start at episode 118 where we kick off the series, and the series ends with our final interview with Jen Ruiz. That's episode 136, but also in episode, I think it's 137, Mark Stinson and I kind of do a wrap up. He shares his 6 takeaways and 6 big ideas from this episode. And so that's the sequence where you can find all this stuff. But again, available any of your favorite podcast players or on YouTube at youtube.com/gmarkphillips. Absolutely phenomenal. I can't tell you how much knowledge. I was just eating up this knowledge from these people. They are pro players. Like I said, they've been in the industry in branding and marketing and advertising for 15, 20 plus years. They have deep knowledge. I mean, they are gurus. I consider them gurus in their field. Okay, let me run very quickly through who we interviewed so you can get an idea of what these people's background are, who they are. And then I'm going to jump into the 5 steps, but stay tuned until the end of this video because I'm going to share with you a general overarching theme that I came away with that is a game changer, an absolute game changer. So you're going to want to stay around for that one. It's the underlying theme that I pulled from all these videos. So let me run through who we talked to in this series. Our first guest was Sherry Talley. Sherry is a former broadcast journalist from Shreveport, Louisiana. She's also an artist. She does photography and painting and a bunch of different mediums. Our next 2 guests were John Beggs and Danilo Fratangelo. John Beggs he's the founder and CEO of Collective Loop. They're a creative agency and branding company in Australia. Danilo Fratangelo is from Brazil, and he's got 15 years experience in marketing and advertising. Next, we talked to Marty Johnson. Marty is a practicing attorney, but he's also an avid videographer and photographer, does a lot of creative work, and he talked a little bit about balancing those 2 aspects, kind of right brain, left brain activities, and that was who we talked to, Marty Johnson. Next, we talked to Bob Bowers and Christian Sirocco. Bob Bowers is the CEO of 83 Bar, the patient activation company. They help patients, healthcare consumers, become more active consumers, more knowledgeable, and more in the game of their healthcare. Christian Sirocco is from Spain. He is the founding partner of Allegro 234. They're a global branding and innovation company. I know he splits his time in a couple of different countries. I want to say somewhere on the East Coast, maybe in Puerto Rico, I think, but also in Spain. Next, we talked to Sophia Lara Grenet and Mridu Verma. Sophia Lara Grenet is the founder of Tontine RSE. Now, of course, she's in France. That essentially is corporate social responsibility. And we talked extensively about how companies can save money by instituting these corporate social responsible programs and cutting costs, right? And then folding those costs back into charitable organizations or even back into the company itself. And Mridu Verma is the technical head of Delve Insight, their business consulting and marketing research firm in Delhi, India. She again travels all over the world, goes to conferences, helps businesses really hone in their marketing and business strategy. Super insightful. Kevin Fox, it was one of our guests. Kevin is one of the founding partners. He and his wife co-founded Foxworks Branding. He's a creator. He is a branding agency. They're a branding agency, and super insightful information that Kevin shared. Paolo Mercado is the Senior VP of Marketing, Communication, and Innovation for Nestle Philippines. A lot of deep insight talking about empathy and running a creative, running that creative sector for Nestle in that region. Super insightful. Our last guest was Jen Ruiz, and Jen is a lawyer turned pro travel blogger. She talks about her experience traveling all over the world, making her, kind of vacation, her vocation, and doing the things she loves, but also it's a business too, right? It's not just out there for fun. That was a super insightful interview. And like I said, I think that last interview where we did the wrap up was episode 137. The easiest way to find all these episodes is to go to episode 137, and then listen. There's a links at the bottom of those show notes at my website, gmarkphillips.com, or you can Google gmarkphillips.com and 137, and you'll pull up, the first one should be that episode 137. At the bottom of those show notes, you'll find links to all of those episodes. That's what I did in all of the episodes, so you can always find the prior episode, and you can choose the one you want. Choose the one that resonates with you. All right, so that's who we interviewed. Give you an idea of the pro players that we had on this series. I want to thank Mark Stinson for opening up his contact list and reaching out to these people. He set all these interviews up, and it was just a phenomenal experience overall. So again, the goal at the end of this video is for you to come away with actionable steps to be a better creator and have more success in your business and ultimately your life too. Before we get into the steps, let me just tell you one of the ideas that I had when I was, listening to these people talk and in this kind of, we're immersed in this creativity series. And I want to share that with you now. And that is something that Maharishi Mahesh Yogi said about creativity. And he said that the secret of success in business is creativity. The secret of success in business is creativity. It's so important to remember this, that we're creators, and we want to consciously create in the highest and best interest for everyone in the world, for ourselves, for our families, for other human beings. And this ties into that idea that I'm going to share with you after I run through these 5 takeaways, these 5 big ideas, 5 ways you can be a better creator. This idea that Maharishi Mahesh Yogi told us. By the way, if you're not familiar with him, he's the yogi that introduced transcendental meditation to the West, and super influential practice for, meditating and tuning up our consciousness. So, all right, let's jump into these 5 ways you can be a better creator taken from this World of Creativity series. I'm going to run fairly quickly through these. I say that. I hope I'm going to run fairly quickly through these. But again, you might want to take notes, write these down. This could be a simple little card in your journal or your business journal, something like that. Number one, the way you can be a better creator is to welcome the pressure, welcome the tension. A common theme throughout all of our guests was this idea that, yes, there is pressure, there are deadlines, there is tension in business, right? It's not just open-ended, willy-nilly fun and games. It's a serious business of creating for your customers, for your business, for your clients. And that pressure is what creates, for lack of a better words, the diamond, the idea diamond that you're going to mine from your consciousness, right? From the ether, so to speak. Pressure and tension is absolutely vital. Came up a number of times. I know there's an aversion sometimes. I even sometimes feel this in my own life, that I don't want to be under pressure. I as a creator, I just want to have total, carte blanche and total amount of time to create. But unfortunately, if you don't have that time constraint, you don't get the thing done, right? There's another idea going on here, and this idea that it's Parkinson's law, right? The thing's going to take as long as you allow it to take, right? You're going to use the time, whatever time you give yourself. And so if you put those tight deadlines on yourself, again, make that pressure really tight, you're going to get a creative idea, but then also you're going to be able to have more creative ideas because you're going to put more deadlines on yourself. So the first big way to be a better creator is to set hard, fast deadlines, and when you're done, you ship that thing. This is what Seth Godin talks about. ship it, right? You have to ship your creative endeavor. Also, Paulo Mercado talked about that too. You have to put it out there. There just can't be this open-endedness. And so one of the things that you could do to put this into practice is when you have a deadline, you ship it no matter what state that it's in. And I got to tell you, that's going to very quickly make you tune up your process and be more effective and more efficient in everything that you're doing. This is one of the things that I do all the time. I'm a perfectionist, a recovering perfectionist, and I got to say, it's hard to just hit enter and ship it, but it's the best practice for me as a perfectionist. So put yourself in pressure and give yourself a high degree of tension. All right, number 2 is empathy. Have empathy for your client. When you know your clients really well, this is something that Paulo Mercado talked about. It was also a common theme in a number of our other interviews. But in order to create the best product, best service, best outcome for your client or your customer, you've got to know them really well. And that requires deep understanding. You've got to really, really take the opportunity to know what they're about, what they want, what their needs are, their hopes and fears, dreams, aspirations, all of those things that require us to get out of ourselves, right? Outside of our own perspective, outside of our own understanding of our life, right? What do your clients value? What do they want, right? This is huge, very huge. That's why it's an awesome way to be a better creator, because ultimately at the end of the day, you're creating for other people, right? You're creating products and services and experiences for them to consume. And so if you want to create the best product, service, and experience, you've got to know them really, really well, right? So empathy is a huge way to be a better creator. Number 3, understanding of your problem. Develop an understanding from the outset of what really is the problem. This was a common theme in all of these interviews. When you know the problem really, really well, you're going to be able to create or come up with a solution that solves that problem really, really well. One of the big kind of problems in the world is that people don't know the problem very well, and so they're not able to come up with the best solution. If you're vague on the problem, you're going to come up with a vague solution, right? Kind of garbage in, garbage out kind of a thing. So that's another huge way to be a better creator. Understand the problem you're solving from the outset. They call it a creative brief. In these interviews I learned that was a creative brief. And if the creative brief is written really well and with a really deep understanding of the problem, then you will have a better solution. Okay, number 4 is exercising your creative muscle. The way to get better at anything is to practice it. A lot of the people we interviewed said, we asked them, can you be more creative? Can creativity be learned? Can it go away, right? Can it get stronger? Can it wane? All of them said, yeah, it can, because it's a muscle. And it's something that when you practice more often, you're going to get better at doing that. And then you're going to have better results. A lot of people think, right, this is kind of closed mind thinking or open-minded thinking, right? That if you are either born a creator or you're not born a creator, you're kind of hosed either way, right? If you've got creativity in your DNA, then that's awesome. But if you don't, well, too bad for you. But that's not the theme that came away from these interviews. And the theme that came away was, you can be a better creator. You can exercise that muscle. You can grow your creative muscle. And it just takes constant doing that and studying, how to be a better creator, books, podcasts, videos, but it can happen. So number 4 is exercise your creative muscle as a way to help you be a better creator. Okay, number 5, and then we're going to jump into that underlying theme I'm going to share with you. Number 5 is everything matters. Every disparate thing that you're doing, every disparate idea that you're doing matters to help you create a better outcome for whatever problem that you're looking at. And what I mean by this is we could look at it in the sense of, okay, rest and relaxation and tension and pressure all go to help you create a better product. Or maybe you know a little bit about something and you bring an idea from something else that is kind of a foreign idea, and you blend those two ideas together and you get an idea baby, like Justine Musk, one of Elon Musk's wife, talked about in an awesome Quora article where she said, hey, you're just making idea babies. You're taking two disparate ideas, putting them together, and having this idea baby be something totally new. Going back to this theme of everything matters, you may have deep insight into a certain area of expertise, and you may be able to blend that into an area of business, right? You may be able to bring an extra flair. One of the biggest and best examples of this is Steve Jobs and Apple, right? He had knowledge of calligraphy, knowledge of design, but he also had knowledge of technology. And so he blended those two together, and what you get, super awesome products that also look super cool, right? And also have awesome visuals. Up until then, technology and computers were just kind of clunky and kind of what they were, right? They weren't super cool. They didn't have that super cool interface, super cool graphics. He took it to another level because he blended those two ideas. Any of us can do that at any time in our business. When we think about the visuals, when we think about the image we're projecting, when we think about how we want to be perceived in the marketplace, right? Those are all visual or artistic ideas, right? Images, ideas that help promote our brand and our service. So those are the 5 big ways that you can be a better creator. Let's run through them one more time, then I'll jump into that overarching idea. Number 1, pressure and tension is a good thing, and you can use those to be a better creator. Number 2 is empathy. Having an empathy for your client or customer, understanding their hopes, dreams, aspirations, wants, needs, all of that. Number 3 is an understanding of the problem you're trying to solve. When you know the problem really well, you're going to be able to come up with a super awesome solution. Number 4 is it's a muscle. Creativity is a muscle. You can get better or worse depending on how much you use it and exercise that muscle. Number 5, everything matters. It all goes in the bucket. All of the things that you've been doing in your life, all are going to help you be a better creator if you allow them to. All right. This general overarching theme, and this is so valuable in the game of life, business and life, was this. There is an awesome creative solution waiting for you, regardless of whatever problem you're trying to solve. There's a freaking solution for your problem. And that's the general theme that I got. There was a general sense of optimism. There was a general sense of we can do this. When you hear creators talk about the hurdles, the many, many hurdles they've gotten over in their life, they solve problems in their lives, they solve problems in their business, they've solved problems over and over again, I came away with a general sense, an overarching theme that everything is solvable, or like Marie Forleo talks about, everything is figure-outable. Right? There's a solution to whatever problem you're facing. And I don't know about you, but when I feel that way, my optimism skyrockets, and I come away with huge, huge inspiration and motivation to go out and tackle these problems. When you know there's a solution for the problem, and I might add, there's usually not just one solution, one awesome solution for your problem. There's usually infinite solutions, right? So when you have that optimism, that, hey, I can figure this out, I can solve this, it's doable, I have the power, right? You're going to find awesome solutions. That was the general overarching theme. It was super positive and super optimistic for the takeaway that I got from this. All right, I want to thank you for hanging with me in these 5 ways to be a better creator. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who is struggling to create more success in their business and or their life, and share these ideas with them. Again, you can always find all these episodes of Enhancing the Human Experience by going to episode 137, and you'll find links to all of those episodes in the series, A World of Creativity. I want to thank all of our guests for joining Mark Stinson and I really enjoyed listening to them, hearing from their experience, learning from them. And I also want to thank Mark Stinson. Thank you, Mark, for setting up these interviews. It was super valuable, and I hope it's been valuable to you on your journey. Please subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and until next time, all the best, health, wealth, and success. Bye-bye.